All right, ride rundown today. We're with Jawbreaker. He's 6'5", so we're gonna do the interview like this, so I look taller. So where'd you get this?
Picked it up in Orlando.
Oh, cool. I like the color.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. What'd you say up
I
there?
said I like the color.
Oh, the color. Thanks. Yeah, it turned out nice.
And yeah, it's a really cool bug. We can't do this.
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.
All right, ride rundown today. We're at the. All right.
A lot's changed since then, man.
Yeah. What's up, Jawbreaker, Mr. VW Jawbreaker, Gary Miller.
What's up, Mr. Stapleton? How you doing today, bud?
Good. Yeah, that was. I think that was the first time I met you.
It was. Yep. As I think Ryan introduced us at that point, and we're like, "Hey, we can have some fun."
Yeah,
I think it only took you. I think it only took you about 2 hours to talk me into that.
Yeah, you were not wanting to do it. That's for sure. I'm having as far as technical problems go, I'm having them.
Oh boy.
So if you see me kind of staring off into something, I'm just trying to fix something. So anyway, so this time we are not broadcasting to more than one channel. It's just mine. We may in the future, if Gary comes back, restream or push it to his channel as well. It just gets to be a little tough to manage the chat. So and we got a few guys in there right now. I see two guys and a bug, and Bug Lover 65. I'm a mush mouth today. And McDaniel's Motor Works.
Yes, sir. We got some good people joining in today.
Yes, we do. So stand by. So a couple videos ago, I said we were going to give away a hoodie, and we will do that today on the stream.
Nice.
Towards the end.
Holy cow, look at that. We got Dean Robinson popping in from across the pond. What's up,
really?
Dean? Yeah, man.
All right. So what time is it over there? We get a lot of people from the Europe area, I guess you could call it. I wonder what time it is there. 6 hours or so ahead?
I don't remember. I can't even get the regular U.S. time zones correct, let alone other countries. So
Dean, what time is it where you are? There you go.
That's easy.
Yeah, it makes it a little easier. I always wonder, I'd like to do the stream a little later here, but then we have a lot of people, we have a lot of Australia, we have all over really, but I just wonder, when is the best time to stream? And you just really, it's hard to pick. So,
well, it looks like it's about 8 o'clock there. And now we got Tonus coming from, I think he's over in Alabama. So we got some people joining in today.
All right.
20 past 8. Nice. So it's not too late.
No, that's almost my bedtime.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So I don't know if any of your viewers know, but you hurt your ankle a little bit a while ago. How's that? Yeah, they know, or how's that going?
Yeah, I pretty much jackknifed it at a 90-degree angle sideways the tail end of November, and I'm still wearing a brace. So wow. I've probably got another month or two of healing. So whatever.
Has it slowed you down? Has it slowed you down a bit in the shop?
It's almost halted me in the shop. It's been difficult to do much of anything because I'm focusing on going to work and providing for the family and not going out in the shop. So
yeah. That would be, for me, tough. I'm not one to want to sit around. And, of course, with an ankle being messed up, you kind of have to sit a lot.
Kind of have to. That's when I just focus more on, trying to connect with my viewers and research things and do a little bit more of the legwork that I mean to do and I don't do. So it's kind of forced some good habits and some bad.
Right. Right. Well, as always, if any of you want to join us live and talk to me and Gary, there's an email scrolling across the bottom. If you want to send an email there to me, just let me know in the chat that you did that, and I'll go look for it, and we'll bring you in. See how it goes. It's always a risk, but who cares?
Yeah, it'd be fun.
So I'll leave that up
fun.
a little bit. So if you want to copy that email and send me an email, and we'll bring you in. So, and if you are not from Gary's channel, you can go check his channel out. It's VW Jawbreaker. Got a lot of cool stuff there. I actually today went back to like your first videos. Your first video, you were not in. You were not in it. I'm not going to show it, but you didn't even, you didn't even show your face. So
yeah, I didn't dare show my face in the first couple of videos. I was like, let's not do this. Oh, Dean, yes, tell Noah I said, hey, buddy. Hope he's doing well. That's his son. I got fans. I got like 3. Two of them are Dean and his son. The other one's my son, depending on the day.
Dean says, get a Segway for moving about. Heck yeah.
Heck
I
yeah.
want one, and I'm not hurt.
Exactly.
They're fun. So what got you into YouTube? What made you say, hey, I'm going to start making YouTube videos?
Wow. You know, watching some of the other people do the YouTube channels, and that started getting me thinking a little bit. And then my son Levi was like, hey, Dad, you're a slacker. I have a YouTube channel. I'm like 8. Why don't you have one? I'm like, what? So yeah, he kind of pushed me into it a little bit. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll make one. And I think that was the intro one that you saw where I didn't even put my face in it. Just went, hey, look, here's my car sitting in the garage. Later, that was it. Mm-hmm. And people started like commenting on it and watching it. I'm like, why are you watching this? I don't get it. So I just kind of kept rolling with it. So, I mean, you've met me in real life. I'm more of a quiet to myself person. I'm not usually this.
Yeah, you run from the camera.
I do. I do. I didn't get nervous about today until like 3 minutes before, and I started going, oh, crap.
Yeah, I did when I had to switch out a mouse. So
yeah, I saw you freak out.
It made me a little nervous, but we'll see. It's so far, this one's working. So
nice.
We'll see how
two guys in a bug. They said, I've got him and his son. You know what? Those are 2 awesome guys right there. It's father-son team working on their bug, and they're awesome.
Yeah.
Yep. They are awesome.
I like that the name of that channel. So they have a channel that they post stuff.
Yep. They're posting a little bit. I'm trying to coax them to do a little bit more.
Yeah.
But they're getting there. They're getting there.
I'm gonna go. I haven't seen it. I'm gonna go check it out.
Yeah, they're met them actually officially at Bug Jam last year. They camped with us and hung out with us for the whole weekend. Long story short, his son is a senior in high school. It's his car. He's paying for all the repair work. He's doing 90% of the work. His dad's just there, kind of just helping him.
That's cool.
So it's 2 generations working together, and not to mention, I believe that car. John, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that car started off in the family, bought here in Central Florida back in 68, 69. So, McDaniels, yeah, thanks, man. I get real chatty when we forget to turn on the camera. That's how it goes. It's called camera shy. You want me to shut up? You turn the camera on.
Have you ever, I don't know, we're talking about YouTube now, but have you ever done a great scene, shot a great scene, and then you go to turn the camera off because you're done, and you go, it was
many times.
It wasn't recording.
Yep,
so
many times. Some people give me slack. They're like, oh, you didn't show how to do that. I'm like, nope, because I forgot to hit record, and I don't care. We moved on.
No, not me. I always redo it, but yeah, it's sometimes it's stuff that you can't redo. So
yeah.
So,
V-Dub 618's in the house. What's up, guys? How you doing? Haptic Garage. Oh, man.
there's
All right,
Brent.
well, I'll bow out now. Brent's here, so.
Hopefully, I want to get Brent to make the closing video. And of course, his tagline is going to be, "And we'll leave the shop light on for you."
That'll be awesome. That's awesome.
He's got the best voice on YouTube. I'm telling you.
He does.
We always call him the Tom Bodette of the V-Dub world. So.
Yep. And I always screw it up and call him the Tom Bodane, and I'm like, no. Well, I mean, he does cook. Makes the bacon.
Oh yeah. The bacon is
That's the candy of the show.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Charlie Whitlock here.
What's up, Charlie?
So.
Haptic. Oh, shucks, guys. We love you, buddy. We love you. Lakeland's coming up. We're going to have a blast.
So Haptic Garage did the first 3 streams with me, and I don't know how many Gary's going to do here, but hopefully a few. And it'd be like kind of a rotating seat, whoever wants to join. I can't do it by myself. I'm just not that good. And I have no confidence, so.
We build each other up, man. It's all about the community.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk a little bit about some tools. There's a few tools that I have in my toolbox that are just like, man, if I didn't have that for whatever happened that day, I'd have been out of luck. But I've got a couple of tools that have saved me, and made my life way easier. So I got a couple of those, and I think you've got some stuff for you do engine buildings. And there's a few things that there's a few things that you have to have to build a VW engine.
Yep, there's of course all your basic hand tools, but there are some specific tools we'll go over today. Just in order to break down an engine, to properly break it down, tear it apart, what you'll need, and it's not many.
Well, do you want to get started and talk about yours and
whatever you want, man? This is your thing. I'm just here enjoying the ride.
Well, let's talk about some tools.
All right, let's do it.
I've built a lot of engines, but I've never built a VW engine. I've never even taken one apart. I've pulled them out plenty of times.
Yeah, so, all 3 bolts.
Well, if you have the 4th one, but most of them don't. I always put it in.
Do you?
Am I the odd man out who does that?
I don't know. We should take a poll down below. People need to comment. Do you do the 3 bolts or do you do 4 bolts? That would be good to know.
Be interesting to see.
Yeah.
So, what is your first tool?
The first tool would be need a flywheel lock.
There it is.
Boom. There it is.
I didn't have time to blow up the pictures.
Yeah, I was gonna say I forgot to resize them last night. It was kind of late. But that flywheel lock just basically goes on there so you can take your flywheel off, and do other things without the engine rotating. And it's an inexpensive, very useful tool.
So when you're tearing apart an engine with a VW engine, that's the first thing you need to do is get the flywheel off.
Well, you can pull the engine with the flywheel on, but it's easier if you need to change the rear main seal, or if you need to get to the shims, or need to change out the flywheel or anything like that. That back gland nut that holds that flywheel on is torqued about 240, 250 foot-pounds. And with that little engine, it'll rock back and forth on you if you're not careful. So that flywheel lock keeps it from rotating around and spinning around. Same with the front pulley side as well. It's only torqued to, I think, about 40 to 50 foot-pounds. Look up your own torque specs, but still.
So it's even if you're not building engines, that's something good to have in the toolbox.
Definitely something good to have in the toolbox. And like I said, they're pretty inexpensive.
McDaniel's Motorworks says 4th bolt on 180 plus horsepower engines in my life. So,
yes, I don't blame them. Yeah. Good old Rosserations is in the house.
Yeah.
I see that. Oh, and Tonus is asking, is the torque multiplier worth the money? You know, if you don't have access to a good UGA gun and a good compressor, I would say definitely get a torque multiplier tool.
So, for those who don't know, what do you use the force multiplier tool for? Sounds like something you would need in the military. Force multiplier.
It does, really. But what branch of the military? No, we're not getting into that. Never mind. No, the torque multiplier tool can work two different functions. You can use it on your flywheel, okay, and you can also use it on your brake drums in order to get those big castle nuts off. That's the same size. And the beautiful thing about those is those bolt into place and have teeth across the top, and it's got the rotating part, and you can set your, I think it's a normal like 3/8 torque wrench, set it to 25 foot-pounds, and it's equal to almost 300 foot-pounds or something like that. It's ridiculously awesome. So they're worth the money.
I wish they'd have had those back in when I was doing the Jeep stuff, because they got a similar nut on the hub.
Yep.
Those axles kind of were crap anyway, but you know, it would have been nice when we had to use them to have something like that.
Yep. And McDaniels is saying that that's the best tool he's resisted buying. I 100% agree with you. I'm in the same boat. Charlie Whitlock, yeah, you got a 500 pound air impact. Yeah, I got a monster one too, and it's usually not an issue. Oh, and please hold on. We need to take a quick second. Dean, please make sure you turn this up. Allie, thank you so much for being here with us today. We do really appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. We got to throw out all the mentions. I'm sorry, I forgot her. My bad.
500 foot-pounds of torque, that's or air, whatever he said there. That's pretty stout. That ought to do it. So.
Oh, definitely. I should definitely do it. Even if it's got Loctite on there, it should definitely ratchet it off. So,
but you should still always torque them to spec.
Definitely torque them to spec. And not to mention, I mean, I don't want to get into the debate of, you know, the rattling that air impact gun puts off. Is it good on the harmonics for the crank and the rods and bearings and all that? We're not going to get into that. Torque multiplier tool would not produce that. However, who doesn't like a really awesome Ooga Googa gun? I mean,
heck yeah. So it sounds like there's been some debates on that in the chat forums and the forums and all that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Is that like bringing up what kind of oil to use?
It's definitely not that sensitive.
Maybe I shouldn't even mention that here, because there's always the AMSOIL guy, which I love AMSOIL, but the AMSOIL guy always chimes in and has a paragraph that fills the page with all kinds of information. But yeah, I use a lot of AMSOIL, so not against it.
Nice. I just use regular canola oil. It works great.
Well, and it's good for the environment.
It does. It smells like McDonald's.
It smells like French fries.
Oh man.
Bean said she waved and said thanks.
Awesome.
Right. He could join in on the send us the info. We'll bring you in live.
Let's do it. Send the email over to Rob.
So if my camera's still working, I got a tool that this is probably, let me just show it here. This is probably one of my favorite tools here to have, and I don't use it a lot.
It definitely doesn't look used.
No, I don't use it a lot, but this is it's a set of pliers, and they're not crazy, but this one has the end. I don't know if you can see it, but it's got I don't even know what you'd call that, but it will fit on I'm trying to do two things at once. I can't do two things at once. So it'll fit on the head of a screw. So if you strip out like a screw or a bolt or something,
Oh, okay, cool.
it'll grab it. And there's been so many times like a little small screw in whatever it is that it saved me on it.
Gotcha.
And my buttons aren't working so great here. And then also this one. This is called the Vampires. It's a weird name. But they sent me these and they put my
that's
name
your
on
name
it.
in that. That's pretty cool.
Look at that. I don't know if they do that for everybody. But it's kind of cool.
That's really cool. Nice.
Very neat. Yeah, so that's one there is it's one of those tools that when you need it and you have it, you're like, oh yeah.
Yes, I agree.
They're not cheap, but they're when you have to use it, it's
but I mean, can you really put a price tag on a good quality tool that's not going to fail you?
no. Yeah. So and also all the tools that I've talked about today on my side here, I will have a link in the description, and if you want to go check them out, most of them are the exact same ones I have. A couple of them I had to substitute out because they were older stuff. So, but yeah.
What else is on your list? What else you got hiding over there?
What do I have?
Mr. Fancy Pants over there with multiple camera angles and.
That's just my phone.
Oh.
Yeah. So, let's see. What is another one that this one here? Let me see if I can get this to come up. See if everything's working. This here, I gave Ryan one of these things here. The Power Probe. Have you ever heard of the Power? Have you heard of them?
Used. Oh yeah, I've used them. I love them.
This version here is about $120, and it comes with. Oh, let me do this? Can you see my pointer? It comes with all the cables, like that hooks right to your battery. This you can plug it into the 12-volt thing in the dash if you need to.
Nice.
And an extension. So if you're working on a trailer and you got to mess with the taillights, which happens quite a bit on a trailer, you can go all the way to the back and take this back there. And what it does, the basic function that I love about it is this button here. You can actually send 12-volt power or something. So if you're back there at that light and you don't know if the bulb is bad, say, you can ground it out. There's a little ground wire there. You can ground out the ground and put power to it and say, okay, bulb's good or bad. You can also send a ground to something if you need to, if something you got to get in there. So that thing there, I use it. I use that thing probably every single week at least.
And the one thing I like about them too is, I don't know about this particular one, but the one I've used, it actually had the display on it too, and it would show you what your voltage is when you do touch something. So it's a multimeter, it's a test probe, it's everything in one. It's awesome.
Yeah, and there's newer ones that do more than this. This one, I do that all the time. I'll hook it up to a battery just to see how many volts it has. And if you got like 12.6 volts or whatever it is, that you're good.
Yep.
And
it's definitely on it's on my short list to get eventually.
Maybe I'll get you one. I got a few of them laying around. I got another nice thing is if you're looking for a ground to ground a wire to, you can find a good ground with that too, because it'll show you. There's a little. I don't have it up anymore. There's a little indicator in the top that tells you positive and negative. So if you're probing wires to see if it's got power, it'll do that. Great tool to have. They're a little pricey at $120, but man,
they're worth it.
I'd have that over a multimeter any day. And I think the newer ones do more like a multimeter would.
Gotcha.
This one, you can check continuity and stuff. It's great.
Yeah.
It's a really, really cool one to have.
It's basically for others too that may not really know much about those. Think about a test light, a multimeter, and a bunch of extendable wire leads, like jumping wires, to be able to move around it all in one. They're absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
absolutely fantastic.
That kit there comes with the little thing on the end that where if you can kind of hook it onto a wire and tighten it down, it'll probe it without poking your finger. So it's a good one. It's a good one.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, McDaniel said he likes to run his engine on coconut oil, by the way. That's probably a little nicer essence. Yeah, I agree.
You'll have more, instead of that McDonald's feel, you'll have more of a beach feel when people are riding on it. So,
but then you want to drink rum, and you shouldn't be drinking and driving. So,
well, you park it.
Oh, now you tell me.
Is it too early to have a drink? Should we grab something? Or
I don't know. Dean says it's pretty late over there, man.
That's right. Where Dean is, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine over there. It's past 8 o'clock.
A little early here, but
depends who you talk to. Yeah, Tona says he agrees. He definitely would love to have one of those. 2 guys in a bug, but definitely wants to add one of those to their toolbox. So yeah,
definitely. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, Dean threw in a question here. He's got a beautiful bay window bus, by the way. He's wanting to know if he should get rid of he wants to get rid of the twin Solexes on Clive, his bus. He's got the 2-liter Type 4. Do you think the 34s or 40s for it? Is there a big difference? Honestly, there is going to be a little bit of difference. I know plenty of people that run the 34s on the Type 4 2-liters, and they get phenomenal mileage, plenty of power. But then again, with a set of 40s, you will get a smidge more oomph. And you can probably tune them to get almost close enough to the same mileage as the 34s. Pick your poison. Which one do you like better? In my opinion, it's your bus. Do what you love. Do what you like.
That makes me think of something. If somebody's got a ride they want to show, they can send it to that same email.
Yeah,
I'll pop it up there if I can.
Heck yeah!
I can get if my mouse is working. That's if the trick. Mouse is working and I can get to my email, I'll make it happen.
Beetle Oval 1955. Greetings from Belgium. Well, thank you for joining us today. That was a nice pause in my voice.
Dramatic pause.
You're welcome, buddy. No problem, Dean. So. Whichever Allie's good with. That's what Clive will like.
What else you got for tearing up motor apart or an engine?
Oh, man. The number 2 thing I have over here would be the oil pump puller. You got to slide that oil pump out of that engine case, and this thing will do it easily without marring up the case. So basically, both sides of that bar, if you take the 2 gears out of the center of that oil pump, that T part of the threaded bar goes in the inlet and outlet, so you can just slide it right out after you loosen up the nuts around it. So easy peasy.
You hook it in there and just use this, ratchet this thing here out?
Ratchet it right out and just slides it right out of the case. Cool. Another one of those right tool for the right job, and it's not an expensive tool at all.
So if you don't have that tool, how do you do it?
You would normally take a couple screwdrivers and tap them in there or something, and you're always going to mar up that soft case, that magnesium case, and then therefore you're just going to have sealing issues from that point out. Some people will try to use putty knives and stuff, but you've only got a gap of it about that much, to get in between the side, and it's difficult. It's difficult. Just get the right tool. Spend the $10-$20, whatever they are, and just get the right tool.
The next time you put a motor together or tear one apart, even, I need to come over, because I've built a lot of, I say engines instead of motors. I should be saying engines because a motor is electrical. But
right. I know that's a whole other one I don't want to get into.
I built a lot of motors or engines, and but never a Volkswagen. So I would like to see like this stuff that you're talking about, because it's interesting to me. I like to know things.
I do too. I like to see the inner workings. So I remember the first time I tore one apart. I'm used to, small block Ford, Chevys, big blocks, and all that stuff. You got your V and your cranking rods and timing chains, timing belts, the whole night. And this is just none of that. So much smaller, compact, in an itty bitty little tiny box.
It reminds me a bit of a 2-stroke motorcycle engine. I've done a lot of those. But
Okay. Yeah.
they're very similar to me.
Yep.
I mean, they're
Yep.
not two strokes, but
Yeah.
they got the jug like a dirt bike would have,
Exactly.
jug. So
Yep.
similarities.
There is. I mean, it's you've got the separate case, you've got the jug that comes off. It's not like a typical, engine and all that stuff. So
Here we go. I gotta get good at this. Beetle Oval, 1955. How much time would I run my rebuilt 30 horsepower engine in? What does he mean there?
Oh, and how much RPM are you talking about, like a cam break in, or are you talking about just in general running down the road?
At how much RPM? So how much RPM to break it in, I think is what he's saying then. Is that what he's saying?
Yeah, if it's an engine break in, it needs to be 2,000 to 2,400 RPMs is a good range. And okay, yes, perfect. And it needs to be for 20 minutes. And then let it cool down, change oil, adjust valves, all that jazz. And then from that point on, you can fire it back up after it cools down and you adjust valves. You can fire it back up, idle it out, start tuning it at that point. And then still doesn't hurt to still vary RPMs here and there as well.
I think you did a video on that 20 minutes of breaking in. It was a 20-minute video, actually.
Yeah, I've done quite a few of them, and I tell you what, it is the most stressful 20 minutes of your life, because if something's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong in that first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So is it going to puke anywhere? Is it going to lock up? There's so many variables.
Yeah, you're waiting for the oil to be pouring out, and you're like,
there we go. That's what I forgot to do.
Yeah,
I'm human, and I'm not an expert. I'm self-taught and YouTube certified.
So where did you learn how to do all this stuff? On YouTube?
Actually, a lot of it was from just growing up around my grandfather and my dad. Always had my hands on wrenching something. I was tearing engines apart, big front end loaders apart and stuff at 4, 5, 6 years old. Just learn how to do it, learn how to work with my hands. And that's why I encourage my son to get out there and work with me and spend time out in the garage with me when he wants to, because if something's already broke, how are you going to fail by taking it apart, see if you can fix it? It's already broke.
That's true.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times when I'm working on something and if it's has no chance of surviving anyway, but I have a chance to fix it, it's definitely easier to get into it, because you're like, well, what do I got to lose?
Exactly.
And it's a good way to learn. Definitely a good way to learn.
It is. How did you get into fabrication?
I had to build stuff for myself.
Okay.
I don't know if I've talked about this before, but I'm sure some people here haven't heard my story. But basically, let me just go way back to the early days of my fabrication, when I had I owned a Jeep shop.
Okay.
And we had to build stuff for people. And that's really where I learned. But I got into it where we were building our own roll cages, bending and doing basically simple cages that we would add to the existing cage. We'd build a hoop for the front and tie it to the existing cage.
Okay.
So pretty basic stuff, but I learned a lot doing that. I learned to weld because I built basically a Jeep cage, and I was tacking it together because I didn't know how to weld really. And it was going to be a roll cage, so I didn't want to risk it myself. So I had a buddy who was going to, weld it together for me. Well, he never got around to it. He's like, well, there's the welder if you want to do it. So I practiced it and I did it. And I rolled that Jeep. I rolled that Jeep plenty of times. So the welds never broke.
Nice.
So that was the early part of my fabrication. So
very cool.
In the shop with Tony's. Is it Tonys or Tony's?
It's Tonys.
Tonys. My dad was a mechanic, and I cannot remember him working. I cannot remember working on a VW bug. Yeah, well, yeah, you're gonna have to work on a VW bug.
Any VW for that matter. That was that's one of the things that I've always enjoyed about them is they're a very hands-on vehicle. They need that maintenance. They need that TLC in order to keep being semi-reliable. You know, and back when they were built, they were in an inexpensive people's car. You know, people worked on the cars back then. So for me, it's you know, therapy to go out and shop and just adjust valves and, you know, do whatever. It's just therapy. You just forget what your stresses are for the day. Busy, wrapped up, doing what's in front of you.
Yep. I learned how to set points with Volkswagen.
Yep.
Because that happened a lot.
Oh yeah. John, it's a labor of love. Man, don't you know that by now? You and Chris have been going through some stuff lately, man. I'm glad to see you're still persevering and pushing through, bud. Seriously, I tip my hat to Chris especially. Not many 17-year-olds are out there wanting to do this.
So I've got another tool that I keep around, and boom. That's the Las Vegas tool version, but there's several versions of it.
Yep.
That thing, you know what it's great for? If you know when you're pulling out a like a cotter pin, and you just hook that thing to it and rip it right out.
Nice.
You know, I don't reuse cotter pins anyway, so why not just rip it out? But that thing, that has saved me so many times.
Cool.
You can hook it to whatever, and it will save you. So that's I would say that's in my top 5 of things to have for the emergency.
I just take a pair of side cutters to them and rip it out. I'm the same. Why bother using a cotter pin? They're cheap. You know, at half the time you put them back in, they break. Then you got to take that one back out and put a new one in. Just put a new one in to begin with.
Yeah, I'm pretty picky about everything, but the way that I bend the cotter pin, I'm real picky about that. It's got to be done a certain way.
Okay.
I actually looked it up years ago on YouTube or wherever. And it's like, what is the right way to do it? And there's like 2 right ways as far as I'm concerned. But
okay.
I hate when they just I don't even get into it. Never mind.
Oh, hold on. I got to ask you this now. So you looked up on possibly YouTube how to do a cotter pin. Who's to say he was telling you the right way?
Well, it was on the internet.
Oh, so it's definitely true. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
I just hate when you put the cotter pin through, and most people will just boom around the sides of the bolt or whatever it is.
Okay.
I hate that. And it's not that it's not going to work. But if you look at a factory car, how they do them, there's not many cotter pins these days, but
the older ones.
Yeah, when there was cotter pins and stuff, the way they do it is they push it through, bend one side over the top of it, and push the other side down a little bit, and then cut it off. That's really it's a nice clean way to do it.
Okay.
And that's the way you'll see it a lot from the factory.
Good to know. I'm going to make a video on how to split a cotter pin.
There you go. This one cracked me up. Don't show the car thieves that bad boy. Yeah, they'll be ripping out ignitions. It will do that.
Wow. Oh, I didn't think about that. Good one, Dean. Oh, you know what? He probably typed it. It probably came from Allie.
Hey, what?
I said that comment probably came from Allie. Dean just typed it for her.
Oh. Very cool. What is your next thing on your list of engine?
That is the good old lifter retaining clips. It's one of those useful. Could you make it out of something else? Probably. You probably take an old wire coat hanger if you can even find those anymore. Those just go down. You've got the 4 lifters across your side of the engine case. So you take your engine case and actually rotate it right? So you can split the case, and these will actually hold your lifters in place because you don't want those lifters to fall out of place, because then you won't know in what orientation they go if you decide to use those cam and lifters. Very inexpensive tool that will save you.
It looks like nothing.
It really does. And like I said, I mean, it's technically like a spring steel, so it kind of puts some pressure out. So therefore, the two lifters won't fall down out of the bore. So, I mean, you could make it out of something, you know, like an old wire coat hanger or, you know, something that's got a little bit of spring steel to it. But it's one of those, most people, I don't have any metal coat hangers here. They're all plastic. I can't make it out of plastic. I didn't have any thin rod at the time, so I just order them and ship them to the house, whatever.
So when you're tearing this engine apart, and this is me learning, at what point do you use this? So you've
right before, so your cylinders would already be off, your jugs, you know what I mean, your heads would already be off. So you're down to just the engine case, and now you're pulled your oil pump, and now you're getting ready to split the case. You want to put these in right before you split the case.
Okay.
So, yep.
Speaking of splitting the case,
boom.
Man, nice segue. A little slow on the graphics part, but
that's all right. So then, yeah, at this point, where you remove that oil pump from is where you would put the case splitter. I'm okay. I swear. I've only been up since 4. It's all good. But yeah, that would be the proper way to split the case. And you know, with you working with old dirt bike engine stuff, you know, you don't just shove screwdrivers in there and start rammer jammer and trying to get them. The case has to apart.
You don't?
You're not supposed to. Have I done it? Maybe off camera. I don't know. There's no proof.
A case splitter makes it real nice. That's for sure.
It does, because then at that point, it at least gets it to pop. Even if it pops a little crooked, at that point, you can just take something flat in there, just kind of rock it a tad, and it'll pop.
Yep.
So,
are we going too long here? Is everybody getting bored, or keep on going, or?
Oh, there we go. Rosseration says he loves collecting tools, always on the lookout for old hazard items. I hear you. I used to like going around to flea markets and garage sales and all that, and trying to find old antique tools that, you know, people just don't have appreciation for anymore. You know, it's those tools from way back when. I've got a C-clamp. My hands are so far out of there. I got a massive C-clamp used for doing valve springs. And the tool's got to be probably older than I am, but it still works perfect. Why get rid of it?
Yeah, when we go antiquing, I'm looking for tools. I found just a couple weeks ago a set of metal shears, and I haven't really been able to date them, but they were nice. They were about probably where's my camera? Probably a 8-inch pair of tin snips, basically.
Okay.
$12. Nice.
Can't beat that. Can't beat that at all. Hey, Seth, welcome. Glad you joined us.
What's up, Seth?
And then Beetle Lover 1955 said, why is there no body on your 1955 oval? You know, open place under the tag at the front.
Got me in that one.
Yeah, got me too.
Might have to elaborate a little bit.
Just a little. Dean said keep it going. He must be trying to go to sleep.
All right.
So what else you got over there?
Well, let's see. Let me get some stuff ready here. How about wire strippers?
Ooh.
Yeah. Strippers.
Yeah, I love strippers.
Yeah. Here, let me bring the picture up. Oh. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh, hold on. The other stripper, man. Wire strippers.
Wrong picture. Sorry about that.
That's your son's computer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Actually, wire strippers. I mean, everybody has the standard old wire strippers, but these things here, you get these ones that have this. It's kind of like an automatic deal. You just kind of
Yeah.
clip it, and a lot of guys are like, I don't need that because you can do it the other way. Well, you're right, but these do any size. You just quickly you put it in there. You know about where it's got to go and bam, done.
Huh.
Time saver.
Those are nice. I always get fumbly with them for some reason. I don't know why.
Those things?
Yeah, I don't know why. I guess I'm so used to the old school ones that I just get fumbly with those. I've only tried using them a couple times, but
Maybe that's it. I don't remember. Yeah, maybe. I gotta look at them. I'm so used to using them. No problem.
yeah. Well, I repetition.
Yeah.
Repetition
And the
makes a difference.
crimpers too. I mean, if you got a good set of crimpers,
Yes.
like I like these ones. These are channel locks or one of the same things as a channel lock. I've got a couple pair, but these ones you get so much more
Leverage
crimping
out of them.
than them skinny cheap ones. I had some of the cheap ones are in here somewhere, but
I had the cheap ones. The handles snap off when I'm trying to crimp something, and then I started using ones like that. I think mine are Klein brand,
yeah,
and they're so heavy duty. You just grip down on that thing, and you're good.
yeah.
So
I won't use any. I mean, if you have to, I use the other ones, but that's it, man.
yeah, I agree. You just see Dean's comment.
Yeah, there it is.
And we got Janka from Norway. How you doing? Backyard Combi. Hey, we appreciate you coming in. Doesn't matter if you're late or not. Thanks for being here.
Late for the show, he says. That's all
That's
right.
all right.
It's all right. We'll see you. We're gone. This might go longer than all the others so far, which I usually try to go for 30 minutes, and then we end up going over an hour.
I just looked at the time and was kind of shocked, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and don't forget, we're giving away the hoodie today.
Today, in this live stream, we're giving away the hoodie.
So, funny story. Yeah. I was doing the test run of the random comment picker earlier, and Brent from Haptic Garage won the test.
So you don't get it, Brent. Congratulations. It was a test.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'll have to give him one anyway.
Yeah, he deserves it. He puts up with you a lot. Oh, man.
Yeah. I lost my page up here.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. We have any wonder if anybody in the comments has any questions for Rob, or absolute worst case myself.
Yeah, fire away.
Definitely. Fire away any questions you have.
There we go.
You get it back?
Got it back.
Nice.
So I see one more thing on yours. Ooh, got a pick.
Oh, perfect. Thank you, Dean.
All right, so you've got one more tool in your list of tools.
Yeah, I realize that.
And bam.
Bam. That is a crankshaft gear puller. So in order to get the front distributor drive gear off the crank, so you can change out the bearing that's behind it, you've got to use that tool. Don't try to use a 2-jaw or a 3-jaw puller. You're going to be fighting it. You'll be throwing stuff. You'll be cursing. Just suck it up. This is probably one of the most expensive tools that you'll buy if you're going to do engine work besides a torque multiplier. Depending on where you buy them, but it's worth the $50 to $70 for the tool.
I was just going to ask, how much is that tool?
I've seen it usually average anywhere from $50 to $70, somewhere around that range. So, and it looks like Haptic Garage was all excited, and then we depressed them because it was the test. drawing.
When I get my next YouTube paycheck, I'll buy Brent one.
There you go. There you go.
I still owe you. I owe you a shirt.
Oh, it was one of the first. What was it? First 1K shirts or something
Original
like
1K shirt.
that. Oh, two guys in a bug want to know, Rob, what was your first VW?
My first VW was a 1976. It was a 76 Beetle, regular Beetle, not a Super Beetle. Had the fuel injection and the big, giant, ugly lights on it.
Thanks.
And, it was pretty. It actually ended up making it pretty cool, except for those stupid taillights. I never got those off of there, but I took everything else off and shaved. It was back. This was back when everything cow look was cool.
Gotcha.
So I shaved all that stuff off, shaved all the chrome off, one-piece windows, suicide doors, the hidden hinges, the whole thing. It was pretty cool.
Speaking of that, I have not forgotten about our conversation, last fall about possibly a collab video doing some custom suicide doors.
What was I drinking when we talked?
I hope so. No, wait, I hope not, because yeah, I remember you saying something about pick up some angle iron, some all thread, and some jam nuts, and we can make some suicide doors.
I did probably say that because that's a good way to do it.
Yep.
And it sounds cheesy, but when you see it done,
I'm game, man. I'm game. Give me a little bit of time to get the body situated, and we got ourselves a plan.
Yeah, and you can bring it over to me. So
perfect.
Actually, that's probably a good idea because I'll have everything I need to get it done. So
yeah, that's kind of what I figured. Let me get the body really solid and stuff, and I can throw it on the trailer and just bring it over for the day.
Zeph says, "How do you feel about wiring?" Well, Zeph happens to know that I'm wiring the Bronco right now, and it's driving me nuts. I hate it. I hate it. I like to wire stuff, but when you're doing a complete vehicle, man, it's a big job. I mean, for a guy who knows what he's doing, it will take him a week or so, you know, and I don't. I know enough to do it, but I'm not fast at it. So,
yep. Oh, Volkswagen Planet, welcome. How you doing? Hey, Rob, go up to Backyard Combi's question. I think that's a pretty good question we could cover. What's your thoughts?
This may have been covered. I've got to read it. So, welders, air compressors, and blasters do you use? Thinking 110. I don't know what a blaster is. I don't know what he means by that. But an air compressor. The air compressors. That's a tough one because if you're going to be using grinders and whatnot, you're going to need a fairly decent one. And if you don't want to be annoyed by the noise of a cheaper, like I don't know,
oilless one, yeah,
a Craftsman or whatever with a, they're fairly loud and annoying and they run a lot. But you need a decent sized one just to run one grinder. But then if you add someone else in the shop, man, you need way more. Ryan right now he's got two of those type of compressors. He's got one that's pretty quiet, but he's got two of them linked together, and I don't remember what size tanks they are, but they're a pretty good sized tank as well. But the bigger the tank, the longer the motor has to run. Yeah,
but it's also the more volume they have. So honestly, if you're looking at getting into an air compressor, I would find, and if you're limited to a 110 volt circuit, I would say definitely find the one that has the biggest tank that you can fit in there that will run off your 110 circuit. Blaster wise, if you're talking about like a sandblaster, I don't have one. I've got a wire wheel and a drill.
If back to air compressor, I was gonna move on, but there's a brand out there. I don't know if they're still out there, but it's called California Compressors, I think it is. And I know they made smaller ones, but they're super quiet.
Okay.
And I think they make a bigger one that's pretty decent. They're not cheap, but they're really nice. And for a sandblaster, just make sure the bottom of it has a nice deep V. Because if it's kind of flat, they won't be flat, but if they don't have a big enough angle, you'll be struggling with getting the sand to get back down in there.
Yep. So, and like VW Roceration just said, look into the CFM of the compressor. That's the biggest thing. Because blast cabinet, air tools, anything you do is going to be all based around that compressor. Get the biggest one that you can afford in the space, and you'll thank yourself later. Because as you grow, you're going to need that compressor. Mine's a hodgepodge that's been built. The tank's got to be older than me. And it's a 60 or 80 gallon tank with a 2-stage head on it. The 5-horse motors, geez, that thing's older than crap. But it runs, and it runs well. What did we have going yesterday? I had some grinders going yesterday. At the same time, I had a plasma cutter going, and it was cycling. So I was I'm pretty content.
Tona says, do not buy an oilless compressor. Well, I agree, but if it's all you can get,
something's better than nothing.
For sure.
Something's definitely better than nothing. So if that's all you can get it. Bug Lover 65 says, a good, 60 gallon 5-horse. That's a great medium place to be. You probably won't need anything bigger than that, but that's a good all around size. Haptic times 3 on the CFM, especially for sandblasting. You would know. I don't blast. He does. So
for sure, if you're sandblasting, you definitely need to have a big compressor. Man, we could do a whole stream on compressors.
Oh yeah, definitely. Or welders or anything else for that matter.
So Volkswagen Planet, now correct me if I'm wrong, is he the one from Tampa?
He is. That's John over in Tampa. And he made up a good point too, is make sure you drain the water out of the tanks.
Yeah.
Because
every night we drain ours.
Yep. Well, I mean, in a commercial application, you have to. In a residential, technically I'm a residential situation. I drain it after every time I use it.
Yeah, especially here in Florida, this time of year, especially, you get a lot of condensation because it'll get cold at night, hot during the day.
Yep, that's the worst. The worst thing you can do is start throwing all that moisture through your tools. Even if you have a moisture separator and everything else, it's still you get enough of it in there, it's going to come out.
Yeah, try painting.
Yeah, no thanks. I don't paint.
So welders, I think a lot of us have started off with like the Lincoln 110. I think Miller makes a version of it. I've got both Lincoln and Miller welders. I've got 2 Lincolns and a Miller and some other crappy things. So any of the big names I think are pretty good. There's some other ones out there. I think it's Everlast. Is that the green one?
Yep. Everlast is pretty good.
Everybody's talking good about those. I think it's them that have a nice TIG for about $2,500, and it's inverter TIG. So I really want an inverter TIG. I don't have one, so I might go that route if that's the one I'm thinking of.
Gotcha.
But any welder to get started, if you go back to what we were talking about earlier, when I started tacking that cage together, I tacked that thing together with probably a 1942 stick welder that ran off of a giant engine.
Yep.
And it actually taught me how to, stick weld, because I had to learn to tack it with a stick welder, which is not easy.
That's an acquired skill.
Yeah, holding a tube and tack welding
and feeding a stick into it and just trying to tack. Yeah, it's an acquired skill, that's for sure. Yep.
I haven't done any stick welding in years. Actually, I was going to do it the other day, and if they were going to fire up the welder, and they never did, so I didn't get a chance to. But I'm going to do it again just to keep my chops up.
Yeah, it's a good thing, and I agree with you. I mean, it's when it comes to a welder, if you're going to get one, buy once, cry once. That people say that saying a lot. I couldn't do that, unfortunately, and I've got a Harbor Freight one, but it's working fantastic. I would say if you've never welded, try to weld with gas first. If you can't, go with the flux core, fine. But go ahead and buy yourself a welder that at least has the regulator and everything with it, so you can just buy yourself a tank and swap wire, swap polarity, and start welding with gas, because it'll make your life so much easier.
Yeah, definitely. The only reason I use flux core is if I'm out and about somewhere and I can't really bring a tank.
Yeah.
But, I have used, I didn't mean to hit that button. How did that even happen? I have used cheap welders, and I've used some that I couldn't even use.
Gotcha.
So if you get one, and here's the tricky thing. If you know how to weld and you try out a welder, you're like, well, this does this or that, and or it sucks or it's good. If you don't know how to weld, you might be like, I'm really bad at this. And you might keep trying to use this old crappy welder that actually, with a good welder, who's someone who's a good welder, might be like, man, this thing sucks. I can't even weld with it. So I've used welders that I could not weld with, and I'm a pretty good welder.
I would say so. You've zoomed in on some of your welds. I've never zoomed in on my welds.
I think it was the last stream Lewis was on, and he had taken a picture of some of his TIG welds, which he's getting pretty good.
Nice.
And I was like, every time you take a picture of, you're like, oh, that's a perfect weld. You take a picture of it, you find out if it's a good weld, because when you take a picture, it does something to it. Every little flaw.
Every little flaw, yeah. It's like painting a wall with semi-gloss in your house. You will find every imperfection with semi-gloss versus flat or eggshell. Yeah.
I've done it. I'm like, okay, I got perfect dimes. It's beautiful. I take a picture. I'm like, it's all right.
It sucks. Dimes. See, you're talking about getting dimes. I'm still like trying to even form a penny. Good old Mike's in the house. What's up, dude?
What's up, good old Mike? Yeah, I always say I learned how to be a pretty good welder, but I also became a very good at grinding.
See, I never claimed to be a good welder, but I'm a fantastic grinder. Yep.
It's a good thing. Actually, the good grinding skills comes in later when you're fabricating stuff. You're like, wow, I'm glad I learned how to grind. So
exactly. I had two guys in the bug. They don't show their welds either. Yeah. There's a video I'm starting to edit now. It'll be out in a couple of weeks, working on the 60. And yeah, I was trying to film and be like, I don't know, a block away. Just so nobody could see the welds. I was like, no, back up. You're too close. They can see.
I'll come over and do a few for you. Then you can say you did them.
And cry. Look at what I can't do.
It's I might come over and show you one little trick that changes everything for you.
Probably.
Ryan did that to me, and this is only a few years ago. He gave me a tip on TIG welding, and a very simple tip. I'm very impatient, and when I have to do a long run of welds, it's hard to start and stop for one thing, but it's I just kind of do these little short things. But he gave me this tip of when you're TIG welding, you got to get your hand in a certain position, and you got to be smooth, moving the whole way, trying to keep it all consistent. Well, he gave me the tip to, go find your start and your finish, but get to your most comfortable part at the beginning of it. So if you're all jacked up like this, by the time you get to the end, it's nice and easy and comfortable. So by the time, because you're stressing the whole time, you're trying to be very consistent and make these perfect dimes that everybody wants to see. And if you're going the other way where it's getting harder and harder to hold it, you start, messing up at the end. And that tip there changed how I weld. So, and I had been welding a long time before that. I never heard that tip and never even thought of it myself. So that was a good one.
Yeah.
So you never know. It could be something as simple as whatever and change how you do things. So
yeah, I agree. I mean, I think you and I have talked about this before, but I've never TIG weld. most everything I've done is stick weld until, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago was the first time I picked up a MIG.
Yeah.
And it was a flux core MIG. And it was okay. And then I moved to gas and went, oh, this is even easier. And that's just where I'm still at. You know, I can MIG, you know, and my stuff will definitely hold together, but I'm not winning any beauty contests with my welds.
When I first started, when you talked about when I first started fabricating earlier, my business partner at the Jeep shop, he's the one who started welding before me. He bought a welder, and he welded on these tabs onto a Jeep axle. And another friend of mine who was a good welder came up and said, "Huh." He grabbed a hammer and went, knocked him right off. So to me, that taught me, is like, well, I need to make sure I'm doing this right, because his welds looked good, but they were just laying on top, you know. So
they didn't penetrate. Yeah,
that taught me something too. So
wow.
So
we got Robert Lambert just popped in. What's up?
Dean Robinson said he would have thought a bunch of seagulls had flown over. That's funny.
He cracks me up. That's some good stuff.
So I think we covered the welder.
And the compressor.
Yeah, you get me going on welding.
Yeah, don't get him going on welding, guys. Come on, anything else but that.
So
fabrication guy.
Yeah, we could do a whole fabrication podcast series. If I could only get Ryan to show up.
He's too busy.
I know.
Between the shop, the family, and Winnie, surprised he has time to eat and sleep.
He's busy on the Winnie. Saw him posted a bunch of pictures yesterday, I think.
I think it was yesterday or the day before or something.
Yeah.
Yep. Look at the last comment that just popped in.
Hey, there's still time to go over to that video and leave a comment, because I'm going to pick it here. We got to get to this soon here.
I was going to say, I would put a time limit on it. They need to go to that video within the next 3 minutes, and in 3 minutes you're going to pick a winner. Winner chicken dinner.
Hold on. If you got any good stories while I look something up here, because I did remember somebody said they sent a picture. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, Dean sent a picture over of Clive earlier. I thought we did. Oh, we didn't do that. No, you pulled up another picture of tools. Sorry.
I have to download it. Hope there's no viruses in it.
Nah. Dean's a good guy. You're safe.
Here we go. This is Dean's, whatever, I didn't read it, but
that's his bus, Clive. Yep.
It's 2.0 auto. Huh.
It's a sweet bus. He's done a lot of stuff to that bus. Thank you.
What year is that thing?
Great question. I want to say it's late 70s. 78-ish. Somewhere around there.
Oh, now, me being not an expert, so is this because it's right-hand drive that the sliding door is on our driver's side?
Correct.
So there's no door. There's no door on the other side then, right?
Nope.
Okay.
It's actually reversed because it's right-hand drive, or a correct hand drive, as he would say over there. Oh man. Oh yeah, good old Mike. Yeah, welding topic's good for you right now. Working on that F100. Hey, what's up, Frank? Glad you could make it, sir.
There's Frank.
Yes,
we were just talking about Frank yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Because I haven't been out to many shows recently, and I usually see him at the shows, but Cool.
Yeah,
Good
I
to
missed,
see you, Frank.
missed the one yesterday. I was kind of bummed I couldn't go, but we had a nice little welding party here at the house.
Yeah, you didn't invite me.
What can I say, man? It was,
You're too
yeah, I know.
You're too far away. Had to
That's
make
why-
it a weekend.
Pretty much, yeah. I was just actually thinking earlier. You're like, tell a story. I'm sitting there thinking it's gonna be a long day to take that body over there to do the suicide doors. Holy crap, that's gonna be a long day. 2 hours there, work all day, 2 hours back. I'm like, I could take a nap somewhere. I was close. Dean said it's a 79.
Okay.
I was close. I was a year off. Give me a break.
We'll if you bring yours over, we'll have to just make a weekend of it.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I'm a good. It won't be hot outside when we're ready to do it. I'll tell you that much. So
Yeah.
nah,
No,
it ain't gonna be hot.
I don't do anything in the summer here. It's too hot.
Yep. I'm glad to hear it was a good show yesterday, Frank. Saw some pictures and some footage and stuff, and it looked like it was a nice turnout and a good day. So glad to hear, man. Glad to hear. We'll definitely catch the next one for sure. Get Ryan to drive over. Maybe Ryan could pick you up, Rob. You can just ride with him.
In the bus?
Yeah.
You know he has a park bench for his front seat.
So
Yeah, so no.
it's legit. It's safe. It's like if you read it online, it's true. He's got a seat, so therefore it's safe.
He's not afraid to drive that thing anywhere. He just went to he drove to Louisiana to pick up a one wheel.
Nice.
I'm like, I think we talked about this last time too.
Yep.
It's like, man, you know, they do have UPS and just go. So
It's more fun, man. Road trip it.
yeah.
That's what I'm about. Road trip it, man. That's fun.
He drives that thing everywhere. Every day. Well, not right now because it's broke, but every day, everywhere. Not afraid to drive it.
Yeah.
I did the same thing with my bus though. I forget what year mine was. Mine was like a 70 whatever. But I drove that thing all over the place. Never let me down. Well, no, never let me down.
I had to think. It's a Volkswagen, did it?
I do not remember ever. Well, I don't remember breaking down in that thing.
How many miles a year would you say that you put on it? Did you ever keep track of that? Just out of curiosity.
No, but you know, I was a musician, so I traveled. There was like a touring circuit we did. I took it to. We were talking yesterday about this. We were playing in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I was up in Missouri, St. Louis. Man, all over. I took it everywhere.
Wow. That's
Loaded
cool.
with. I'm a bass player, so loaded with gear that's heavy. One of my cabinets, and I have 4 cabinets. One of them is 165 pounds. It's an 810 Ampeg cabinet.
Wow.
And then plus the amps and everything else. So yeah, I put
That's
that
crazy
thing to the test.
Yeah, you did. Overloaded.
Yeah. I know.
I had somebody ask me recently. The only reason I asked you about mileage is somebody asked me recently, and I kind of like to keep tabs because I've got like a little journal. So every time I change oil or do anything to the car, I write it in the journal and, the log. So I know, when I did things, mileage and date. So yeah, I was looking through it. Since I've owned that car, I've averaged 4,000 miles a year.
Really?
So yeah. And I've got the family SUV for around town, and I've got the work van for Monday through Friday. So this is just hanging out, going to Home Depot and picking up, privacy fence sections and throw them on the roof rack or whatever. I mean, just go out for a cruise, and next thing you know, you're 3 hours from home, and you're like, oops, guess I'm not going to be home from lunch.
Man, you're gonna ruin your paint on that thing.
Whatever, man. It's meant to be enjoyed, not sit in the garage.
Yeah.
So, hey, John, appreciate you being here, buddy. Thanks for hanging out with us. And Rob, you're 4 minutes over from picking your winner.
I'm 4 minutes over.
Yes, you are.
Holy crap.
We got to chatting again, man.
Let me do this. Let me close this.
Yeah, I agree with you, Frank. Ryan is a brave man.
Close that.
Dean, Allie, and Noah are heading out. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Thank you guys, and stay safe out there.
Uh-oh. I'm trying to get this thing over here so you guys can see it, but I can't get it to work.
Ruh-roh. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
I'll get it there. I'll get it there.
Yeah.
There we go.
See? I knew you'd get it.
Getting there.
Come on, man. You got a good mouse now.
Here's proof. Here's proof that Haptic Garage won the test.
Uh-oh.
It's on the screen still. So
Hey, Tonis, thanks for hanging out, buddy. Appreciate you being here, man.
all right. So there's the comment picker. I'm just going to pick whoever it is. And I think I said in the video that as long as I can ship it to you, you know, no big deal. And Haptic, I'll send you one too.
Yay, Brent.
So I don't know what this is here. So here we go. Who's the winner?
I don't know. Drum roll, please. And you can pronounce that.
Yeah, it's Jacob. So I got to write that down. So Jacob, you are the winner. And if Jacob doesn't contact me, I'll just keep picking until somebody responds.
There you go. Yeah, Brent's excited now. Oh, man.
Well, where's my list of things? I mean,
I was going to say, my list is pretty much done, my friend.
so yeah, man, it's been pretty good. I think we went an hour and 22 minutes so far, which I always say, let's go 30 minutes. And here we are. So what do you say we wind things down?
Sounds good to me, because I didn't have to kick the wall and tell the wife to get in and start commenting. So I think we did all right. Hey, McDaniels, thanks for the distraction. Thanks for being here and helping distract us and keep us busy. We appreciate you.
Yeah, so I don't know if we'll do the simulcast thing. This seemed to me to be easier. You didn't get the experience the way me and Brent were doing it, but it's not as easy to kind of keep up with all the chat because you're watching two different chats and I'm already doing enough stuff, but I kind of like this. But maybe, if we come back, we'll do it, but I kind of like this.
Whatever you want, man. I mean, it's not about me. It's about us. It's about everybody.
Well,
So however we can do it where it benefits everybody. If it's easier this way, I mean, because let's face it, you and Brent are a lot smarter than me, so we can just stay here.
Yeah, but no, you're smart. No,
in my own little special way, I know.
No. No, this is fun. I love my favorite thing is just chatting with the people and trying to get to know everybody. We don't get a lot of engagement on my channels. We do a lot of, Brent pointed out to me, because we do a lot of how-to stuff, and people come in, get their information, and they go. So hopefully we can get a little more familiar with everybody and get to know everybody. And if you can subscribe to my channel, if you're not, so you can ring the bell so you can get notified when these things come up, as well as with Gary's. And I got his little there. If you're, which I think a lot of these guys are your people. So.
Yeah, they are. They're all awesome people. That's one thing that, some people have commented to me, hey, your YouTube channel is very niche, with the Volkswagen community. I answer that proudly and say, yes, it is. Because the VW community is freaking awesome. So yeah. I'm good with it.
Yeah. I've been in, I bought that first bug in 1980.
I was gonna say, be careful, you're gonna date yourself.
1980. 89. 80 or 9 is my first bug.
Okay.
So yeah. Been a while.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
man, we might have to get into more of this stuff because there's more to talk about.
There is.
I don't
Bug
want to keep
Lover,
going
we
too
both
long.
did a. Bug Lover said we both did a great job. Rob did do a nice job. Good job, Rob.
Hey, when you don't have somebody with the voice of Brent who has the gift to gab, it's not easy. It's
not.
it's hard. It's hard to do. So
That
thank
it
you,
is.
thank you, Brent, for your
Setting the bar so high.
for all the help. So hopefully we'll get Brent back soon as well. So
I agree. Well, I appreciate you having me on, and thanks for entrusting me to fill his large shoes. Sorry, my voice is not as pretty as his.
it's all right.
It's all right. It'll do. I mean, it's better than nothing.
All right. Well, what? It's another thing. Keep trying to go here, but another thing I was curious about when everybody thought is when to do these streams. Not necessarily the time of day, but what days. I don't know that I want to do every single week, but I was thinking something like maybe every first and third Sunday or something like that. And any ideas on that? Any input? What do you think?
I don't know, but Frank just got his first bug in 77 for $25 and then drove it home. Dang, man. That's a steal. Okay. So Rob, I couldn't help not I saw it and I'm like, oh,
Squirrel.
I'm perfectly fine. Thank you for asking. I don't know. I kind of think maybe every other, or like you said, maybe the first or the first and third or second and fourth.
Yeah, something. If you did every other, then that would be fairly consistent. But I think if you have in your head maybe every second and fourth or first and third, whatever.
Yeah. Whatever works for the majority schedule. I'm sure people don't want to be on here every single Sunday.
No,
but at the same time, maybe they do. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll mess with it.
Yeah,
we'll try to do every couple weeks for now and see what happens.
I like that.
It would cost you $25 to fill a bug right now, by the way, with fuel.
Actually, more than that. Gas went up some. If it's bone empty and it takes 10 gallons, it's more than $25. Bug Lover 65 still has his first bug. Now that is impressive. Wait, did you just get it last week? I still have it. I just got it.
I would love to find my first bug.
That would be cool.
I don't know if it's possible. I guess I could find the VIN.
Possibly. Run it against the DMV and see if it's been registered. If it hasn't, that means it's sitting somewhere.
Yeah. I should do that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Good old Mike. Love it. Good old Mike.
That it does.
He's got a good podcast going.
I love the dynamic between him and Joe.
Yeah.
They do. It's just awesome. Awesome dynamic duo right there. Bug Lover says it was 25 years ago he got his first bug. That is impressive.
Is it today that Brent was on Good Old Mike's podcast? Did that come out today?
Friday, I think.
Today.
Thought it was Friday.
Oh, so it's already, but it did come out though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, he did amazing on that. And anything Brent does, he does great. There's no mediocre for him.
All right. Enough. What are you trying to get him to do some voiceovers for you? What?
I would take it.
Really, that'd be awesome. Just shoot a bunch of video and have him voice it over and never have to do all that extra work. It'd be great.
I wouldn't be tongue-tied all the time. It'd be fantastic.
Yeah, so on Good Old Mike's channel, it was live on Friday. So, or I don't know if it was live, but it went live, went on air, or whatever you want to call it, on Friday. I got to check it out. I haven't seen it yet, so I will watch that as soon as we get off air someday. We got to go.
I know, man.
I'm just having fun. So.
I'm having a blast, but I'm sitting there going, man, time's ticking. I can hear her out there going, when is he going to be done?
Yeah. I just think in my head, man, an hour and a half, I wouldn't watch that. It's so I got such a short attention span. I got to keep things quick. So
same here.
All right, well, let's get out. And one of these days I will have a video to play us out. I actually was going to have one queued up and ready to go today, but I don't. So we will just wave and say goodbye, and thank you, Mr. Jawbreaker, for helping out. It was fun.
No problem. I appreciate you, Rob. Thanks for having me, and thanks for putting up with me, and thanks to everybody that showed up today and commented and kept the ball rolling, man. It was a blast. A lot of fun.
Right. See you next time.
See you guys.